You're watching WLPA TV 1057 News at 6:30.
Good evening everyone, I'm Grace Wright and welcome to the news at 6:30. We begin our top stories in East Stroudsburg, where police say a violent protest had broken out against the COVID-19 mask mandates that started earlier today until further notice due to COVID-19 cases going up. WCBS 2 and WCBS 880 in New York City have reported at the George Washington Bridge causing car fires, serious injuries, even closing both the upper level and lower level of the bridge for them to take over the bridge with a protest march and prevent people from getting into Westchester, the Bronx, all of Manhattan and Queens, Staten Island, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, including the city of Philadelphia and now Atlantic City. A police officer in Brooklyn Center has pleaded guilty to the murder of Dante Wright, who was shot and killed during a routine traffic stop by Brooklyn Center police. Instead of a taser, a Glock 9mm gun was used. Multiple protesters of the Black Lives Matter movement believe that they used the gun in order to kill Dante Wright. Police say that the officer was mistakenly using lethal force instead of non-lethal force with a taser instead of a gun. This just into our newsroom. The murderer of 18-year-old Jordan Clea, Dante Wright, has just appeared back in court because he made a death threat at an officer while he was locked up in his cell. The judge is having about enough with Wright's behavior and wants to put him in solitary confinement for the next 10 to 20 years for his own safety and the officer's own safety too. Dante will be sentenced in just an hour. Earlier this week, President Biden has visited a residential neighborhood of Oklahoma to comfort the people whose homes were totaled by a tornado that tore through the neighborhood. The American Red Cross is still asking for anyone to donate blood for the many people who have no home in Oklahoma. This was on the news all morning, afternoon, just 30 minutes ago, and will be on the air for the rest of the evening and night. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has been found guilty of all charges of last year's murder of George Floyd, who died in April of 2020 after Derek knelt on his neck to kill him and take him into custody. Derek will remain in the Minnesota Department of Corrections for the rest of his life. This just into our newsroom. 29-year-old Jose Gonzalez, the guy that stole a New York City Fire Department ambulance, struck and ran over 44-year-old paramedic Yadira Arroyo, has now escaped the New York City Corrections on Rikers Island. His last known location was at the front gate of the prison facility and heading eastbound. Anyone in New York City that sees him, call 1-800-CRIME STOPPERS or call the NYPD on their crime hotline on the number given on Google. Well, that'll do it for the news at 6:30. We'll see you at 11:35, our 7, 8, 9, and 10 o'clock news right here on TV 1057. All canceled due to the college football game at East Stroudsburg University, which starts at 7. Have a good night.